All right, shake it out, loosen up a little bit. This is the Gun Talk After Show. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, but it's always worth it to hang around for the after show. A lot of times we cover topics we either couldn't get to or didn't want to put on the radio. If you're on hold, stay right there, because we're calling Tom back to the microphone for a little more fun. Show producer Jim Kinsey will be here along with Michael and Michelle. Now, the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, we are now in the after show. Michelle, well, she thought better of it and said, I'm going to leave you guys. We're not going to do this. So it's Jim and Michael and me and just the guys.
Guy time on Gun Talk.
Guy time on Gun Talk. Gun Talk on Guy time. Something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like
Wait, that doesn't sound quite right. I don't know.
the visual's a little odd, but that's all right.
Going weird
To
on
each
me.
his own.
You know, I mean, we're 30 seconds. We haven't even gotten there yet, and it's already gotten weird.
Yeah, well,
So there
you
go.
preface the whole thing by saying we swear like sailors on the regular show.
Yeah, well, I was trying to build up some listenership here. Otherwise, why would anybody listen to this silliness anyway?
Good point.
You know?
Good point.
Give me a break. It's just got. All right, I got to ask you guys. Leon Measures, the Shoot Where You Look program. What'd you think?
Well, while he was talking, I was imagining doing the same thing actually with my finger pointing out and my hand pointing out, and it makes an awful lot of sense. It absolutely does. I can't wait to go home and try the whole mirror trick because that, like you said, that you're going to get that barrel pointing right at where your eyes are looking. And it just sounds like it's so simple. Why didn't we try this before? Why didn't I?
The key is concentrating on where you are focusing your eyes. And, when you point a finger at something, you don't have to look at your finger to actually have your finger lined up on whatever it is you're pointing at.
Right.
I mean, if you it'd be weird to switch your focus back to your finger, but for some reason, you know what it is? We're all rifle people and pistol people. We're used to focusing on the sights, and then we go to the shotgun, and it just screws us up, because if you're focusing on the bead on the shotgun, you don't have a prayer.
Right.
It's just, but man, this thing works. So
it kind of reminds me of, in the same line of thinking, when you shoot pistols and rifles now, at the training that I received, where you're pointing your right-handed shooter, you're pointing your left thumb towards the target, and your right thumb kind of mates with it. It's kind of the same thing. You're not looking at your thumb, but you're pointing and you're orienting yourself.
Right. And, of course, with the pistol, you do need to get a good sharp focus on your front sight, and you let the target blur out.
Right.
In this case, you need to get a hard focus. I always like to use that phrase, a hard focus, crisp focus on the clay bird. Even better if you say, I'm going to hit the front edge of the clay bird. So you're not just looking at the bird, you're actually focusing on the front edge.
So ideally, you don't see your barrel at all.
No.
Yeah, so what he was saying is you just got to get used to where it should be on your face, on your shoulders, and your proper stance, and then you're just going to go to that automatically, and you won't even have to think about sights.
Well, I can watch somebody and see their eyes shifting when they're shooting a shotgun by simply watching the barrel. I don't have to see anything else.
Does it dip down?
No, it goes, like if it's a side-to-side crosser, it'll go jerk, jerk, jerk with stop. Every time their eyes come back to the barrel stops moving. And clearly you can't hit anything that way. So then what they do is, they're trying to go back and forth with the focus, and every time you do, the bird keeps flying. So now you're falling behind. So you move the shotgun up to where you think it's just where it ought to be, and then you shift your focus back to the barrel, but then now the target's moved on you.
Right.
And so just in desperation, they just kind of fling the gun out there somewhere and yank the trigger. It's like a weird deal, but you got to trust that it's going to work, and just swing through it, focus on that target hard, and just don't worry about the shotgun. But that only works if you have a good gun mount. And that's, although he doesn't say it that way, I think that's what Leon is working on a lot, is making sure that every time you put this gun to your shoulder, it mounts up so that you're looking down the barrel. And you're actually tweaking your gun mount, because if you got a good gun mount, all you have to do is look at the target and swing and pull the trigger. It'll break.
And that comes with practice.
Yeah, but it's weird. The practice is really the gun mount.
Right.
And Brian Belinsky, who's been on the show before, does the same thing. He says, we're going to teach you how to do a gun mount, a proper gun mount, And then your job is to go home and practice just mounting the gun. Take it from a low position and raising it up against your shoulder and looking down it, not focusing on the barrel, and then dropping it down, and then not fast, not quick at all, slow, just a boom. And then you drop it down. It's kind of like a boom. It's just, and you're grooving that movement so that the shotgun butt hits the same place on your shoulder every time, and your cheek hits the comb of the stock the same place every time. And when that all happens, man, well, you heard his testimonials. Those are
right.
amazing.
The percentages of increase and stuff. You know, it's amazing. Just the smallest thing will change the entire dynamic of a shooting experience. You know, I just kind of learned that the placement of your dominant hand thumb on a shotgun is extremely important. You wouldn't think, but
Well, I'll tell you what. Just as an experiment, you guys just try this over the next few weeks. Try mounting a gun a whole bunch of times, doing this routine, and then go out and shoot and see what it does for you. That would be kind of interesting.
And considering there's no ammo prices involved, nobody has an excuse not to do it.
It's perfect. Exactly. Let's go to the phones now. Geraldo is in California. He's on line 4. Hey, Geraldo, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I got a question for you. I just bought a Browning double auto 12-8, and it feels amazing, wonderful gun, and I want to use it for dove, but it came with a full choke on it. Now I'm wondering about getting the barrel threaded for chokes, and I was thinking about Briley. Now, what do you think about that? Is it going to hurt the gun's value? I mean, I'm not really too worried about too much because I'm going to be using it, but...
Don't worry about the gun
What do you
value.
think about that?
What you want is a gun that you like to shoot. I have actually used Briley a couple times before to do thread barrels and get their chokes. They have really good chokes. And the beautiful part there is you don't need to send them the whole gun. You just send them the barrel. The one thing I want to make sure of, okay, yeah, that gun would work about the same time. You got the Browning double 12?
The double auto 12-8, yeah.
Okay. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, obviously, you have an option of buying an aftermarket barrel that was already threaded. If you, for whatever reason, wanted to keep that barrel intact, you could buy a different barrel and just put that on. It's got threads on it. And honestly, by the time you have Briley thread those and buy a full set of chokes from them, you might want to check the prices on that versus buying a barrel, because it's not going to be as far apart as you think.
Actually, I was pricing it, and it's about a $200 difference. All the barrels that I've been finding right now.
Well, all right then.
So that's the only thing I've had.
Well, then I would say go with Briley. The good people, they know shotguns forward and backwards, and I absolutely trust them. So I think you're home free. And for those who don't know, we're talking about Briley. They do choke tubes, kind of one of the original companies to put choke tubes and threaded barrels on your guns. They're down in Houston, Texas. So that'll work. Hey, Geraldo, I think that'll work for you. So I would say just go ahead and do it. And just appreciate the call. All right, I got to tell you guys a quick story about Briley. I had this really nice over and under shotgun that I got from my dad, and it was imported by Ithaca, but it was actually an over and under made by Perazzi, which is a very nice high grade company. Yeah. Right. It was a pigeon gun. Well, pigeon guns have very tight chokes for competitive pigeon shooting, and had a high comb for rising birds.
Now, are they still 12 gauge? Still 12 gauge?
12 gauge, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't fit me well, and I couldn't really take advantage of the tight chokes. I said, well, I talked to Brian, and they said, well, yeah, we can put the threads in. I said, what about the stock? I said, we got a good stock fitter. So I went down there, and I got fitted. He had me shoot and try different things and all, and left the shotgun down there. And now, to be fair, the stock fitter was not with them. He was somebody that they used. And after like a few weeks, still don't have the gun. A few weeks, I still don't have the gun. So finally I called John, who's the stock guy. I said, John, what's the deal? I don't have my gun. He said, well, Tom, I really don't know how to tell you this, but my dog ate your forearm. Is it like the dog ate my homework?
Yeah. I can't turn in my exam yet.
He says, no, my daughter's dog got into my workshop, and she chewed up your forearm. I mean, on a forearm or an over and under, I mean, it's key. It's part of the mechanism. You got the metalwork and all in there. Wow. I said, well, how bad was it? He said, oh, it's toast. It's gone. Oh. I said, well, we have to get another. And he says, that's what I've been doing. He says, I've tried Perazzi in the U.S. I've tried Perazzi in Italy. There's not one to be had. I said, well, what are you going to do? He says, don't worry. He says, I've got a custom stock maker in California making you a new forearm for this gun. I said, okay, well, that's all cool, John. I said, now I only got one other question for you. where'd you bury the dog? So there you go.
Or where were you when you go back to town?
Holy smoke.
Speaking of traveling places, you know, the leaves are going to be changing in northern Michigan pretty soon here, about another 4 or 5 weeks.
I hate you. It's 142 degrees here right now.
Well, you're going to hate me more when I suggest that we take a Gun Talk trip to Traverse City. Ooh.
To go see Brian.
Of course.
Ooh.
We should meet up there.
You should check out his website, by the way. He's doing some work. How far is that from you?
About 5 hours.
Okay, he's got a Cesar Guarini day at the range. Cesar Guarini, great over and unders. And so demo days, you get to shoot all their different guns. Ooh. And also, of course, in September, they do their classes. And for those who want to know, you go to fieldsportltd.com. That's right. fieldsportltd.com. Brian Belinsky, Dr. Shotgun, maybe the best gun fitter in the country. Boy, is he a good wing shooting instructor. But man, would I love to get anywhere cool right now. It is so bloody hot down here in the south.
That's the place to go. Plus, you've been there. It's beautiful up in northern Michigan.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Traverse City is fabulous. And like I said, what I'd really like to do would be to get there just about the time the grouse season opens. That would be fun. We could chase grouse. That doesn't mean you could get to shoot one. You just
chase them around.
Grouse hunters are weird. You know, it's like they'll say, "How was the day?" "Oh, it was great, man. I heard 2 flushes." Didn't see a bird. You guys are weird. You know that, right? Wing shooters.
Oh, my God.
Grouse shooters they're like muskie. You know the muskie fishermen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Last week we got 1 fish to follow our bait. I mean, that's it. We got 1 to follow the bait for 3 feet. That's a good week.
Limit? What's a limit?
You guys are really strange. I love it. Oh, I tell you what, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We got to beat this dead horse a little bit more, okay? We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Tired of paying for one concealed carry holster after another that's flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? Alien Gear holsters feature a super stealthy and ultra comfortable design. Our professional quality holsters are backed by an ironclad triple guarantee, including a free 30-day test drive, free shell traits for life, and a forever warranty. Starting at just $29.88, you won't find a better quality or better priced holster on the planet. Any planet. Go to aliengearholsters.com to get yours now.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking about wing shooting and how strange that whole thing is. One of the things, we mentioned this before, I want to mention it again because it keeps coming up. If you're starting a youngster out, or actually if you're starting anybody out, 20 gauge. 20 gauge is where you want to be, not a 410. You want people to have success. 410s don't have enough shot pellets to consistently break targets, and so they're difficult. They're an expert's gun. I really prefer a 20 gauge pump, and if it's a youngster, get one with a shorter stock. The folks at Mossberg probably do the best job of anybody of making guns in different lengths and really short stocks.
Well, they make junior models too, don't they? I mean, specifically,
they do.
Yeah.
And you can, as he or she grows up, you can simply buy a longer stock and screw it on there, and now you've got a gun that fits them.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. Oh. And how'd you like to do that for a .22 rifle? Ruger, they've gone with an American, they've had the American rifle in 30-06 centerfire all. Really cool,
right.
Very inexpensive synthetic stock rifle. They've done that with a .22 now. But they have it in different stock lengths, and you get 2 stocks with the gun. One is set up with a low comb for using iron sights, and the other has a high comb for use with optics.
That's cool.
That is
You just
neat.
pop it off and pop it back on, and then you could get the short one or the long one. Really slick, and it's just so important to have a gun that fits you.
That's a neat idea.
Oh, yes, they're doing some really cool stuff. I mean, you guys both teach shooting. You know what it's like to give somebody a long gun when the stock's way too long for them. It's just nearly impossible.
Yep.
Well, and they don't enjoy the experience that way either. You know,
Right.
if they can't hit the target, even with instruction, because the gun doesn't fit them, I mean, it's not doing anybody any good.
And if it's a shotgun, it's just going to kick the snot out of them, and it's going to be really, you'll be lucky to get them to come back and try it again.
Right, on the upside, they don't get scope burn. They can't get their eye close enough to use it.
As long as they're not putting the butt plate right in their forehead or something, you're probably good.
Now, 1-inch gap. You leave a 1-inch gap. Trust me on this.
Let it get a little bit of a running start before it gets to you.
Use your bottom teeth to break it.
Oh, man. Actually, we had a weirdly enough, and going full circle, talking about Thompson submachine guns, we had a sheriff in the town I used to live in. He would do shooting demonstrations with a Thompson, and he would show how little recoil there was, and he would put the butt of the gun on his chin and go full automatic with it.
Oh.
Why?
Who knows?
Well, why do people pull cars with their teeth, you know? I mean, it's just useless skill set, I guess.
Yeah. Which reminds me, when we're off air, let's,
But you know why? Because we're still talking about him doing it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why he did it.
Now, the original Thompsons, they were 45 ACP, right?
Yes.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, they are. They're 45 ACP. Heavy as all get out.
Yeah, they're...
You know that you can buy one in semi-auto now.
Right. They had a deal a couple of years ago. You could buy it and get the violin case for it. It came with it.
That's cool.
That is neat.
Oh, speaking of violin cases, have you guys seen the, darn it, I wish I can remember who makes it. Somebody makes a tennis racket, basically a soft case that takes an AR.
Wow.
Oh, just to disguise it or something?
Yeah, you put your AR inside the thing. It looks like you're carrying around a tennis racket. Of course, you got to have the collapsible stock, the adjustable stock, so you collapse that down. You got a little carbine AR. And that way, you could carry that thing around. Nobody would ever know that you had an AR as you're traveling around. And
I never saw a Spalding with a Trijicon on it before.
there you go. You know, that's to hit more accurate lob shots or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Diversion carry.
Is that the name
That's
of the
who makes
company?
It is now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were coining a new phrase.
No, diversion carry. This one's $63.
Didn't it look cool though?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't play tennis, but
You do now.
I do now.
And you're going to look great in that little skirt, baby. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
What's the website?
I found this on Amazon.
Huh.
Blackhawk diversion carry bag. It may be made by Blackhawk.
Oh, it's from Blackhawk.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Even cooler. Well, heck, I know those guys.
They make it in 3 colors.
Guess who's going to be getting one? I'm going to be making a call to my friends at Blackhawk. Say,
They have it in fuchsia.
Of
Blue,
course.
red, and black. And the red one's sweet.
Huh. That is really, I mean, it's such a slick idea because there are times when I have needed to take a gun because you're traveling, you're at a meet, your match or something, and I need to take a gun into a hotel where I know that gun cases might not be appreciated.
You might make, yeah. It looks like the different colors, $49 they're down to on Amazon, so that's pretty cool.
Until you walk in the room, the MC says, "Advantage, Gresham."
Yeah.
Kind of gives you away.
Or we don't allow tennis players in this hotel.
No, when they say advantage Gresham, and you want to say, you don't know the half of it, buddy.
He has spare mags, too. So
That's right. We got spare mags. So, yeah, I got the big advantage here.
oh, nice.
Yeehaw.
Mm-hmm.
So what you guys been shooting?
I didn't shoot this week.
What?
I feel like I'm in a confessional.
All right,
Bless me, Tom.
Go stand in the corner.
I have sinned. I did not discharge any firearms this week.
Well, we're about to embark on the second season of First Person Defender. We start shooting that tomorrow. We'll be doing
26-hour days? Yeah.
Oh, God. And being idiots, we're doing it in the heat of the summer, of course. It's July in South Louisiana. This makes a lot of sense. Oh, and yeah, when you're shooting munitions, you have to wear long sleeve and heavy jackets.
Oh, yeah, because that
to
stings.
protect yourself, because that stings like the devil.
Is
when
it
you get
beyond
back.
paintball pain?
Oh, gosh, yes. These are considerably faster and hurt like the devil. But, it's all going to be good. One of the things we're going to do
Is lose weight.
Yeah.
a good
25
thing.
pounds of water weight.
which is all good until they have to drag you to the hospital.
Right.
We're going to do a recreation of the Joseph Wilcox situation in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
That'll be
We're
neat.
going to have the tail gunner back in the store. Store gets robbed, and our good guy tries to take out the robber, unaware that one of the shoppers is actually an accomplice.
You might want to stage that in the off hours, I'm thinking.
No.
While they're closed, maybe.
Yeah, no. We've got a great facility. We're actually going to be doing our training at the Louisiana State Police Training Academy.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
So we've got all sorts of ranges and houses and things we're going to be going into. they said we've got explosives there, and I kept trying to come up with some kind of a scenario, but I just couldn't come up with one where we could use that.
We'll work on that this week for you.
Yeah,
That's
we'll brainstorm for you.
There you go.
Any chance to blow something up, and I'm in.
That's it. That's going to be our new show on TV, BSU.
Blow stuff up.
Well, stuff is, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. So I think that would be a winner.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. When is it? I'm trying to think. Okay, can't tell you who yet, but this week there will be a new gun announced that I had to sign an NDA on, but it'll be out by Wednesday. So you guys will know about it. It's going to be a new cool carry gun. It's very nice. We have one. Yeah, and so I just like to throw those out and
so that I can sit here for the whole week and wonder what the heck you're talking about.
You're supposed to tease the listeners, Tom, not us.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, we're family.
Come on, help me out here. Come on, just a little help from my shooting buddies.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh boy.
Let's see. Talking to who was I talking to this week? The guys at SIG. They've got all kinds of cool finishes they're working on over there. Some pretty neat stuff. And they also, I don't know if you guys know that SIG bought a carbon fiber company.
Really?
And now they're making their own carbon fiber stuff.
Ooh.
So they're not quite ready to put it on, but things like ARs and even grip panels on pistols.
So this would be something that might be replacing a lot of that proprietary, polymer type,
could be.
That
could
would be
be.
awesome. Well, it looks awesome for one.
Yeah, and no kidding. It really does. And it's super lightweight and real strong.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good thing.
And heat resistant.
Yep. And see, I was talking with Chris Serino, and he got to shoot the SIG P320, their striker-fired gun, which I've shot, and he really liked it, so I was glad to hear that because he's a real shooter. So it's just I'm telling you, we got all kind of cool guns these days.
Name a striker-fired gun that isn't a polymer.
I don't know that there are any, are there?
There's got to be.
Think.
I was going to say, because
a hybrid, actually. No, the Ruger SR9. But it's still a polymer frame.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm going to come up with one.
I may have to go tinker in the garage after the show.
I'll make what in the garage?
Just
what did you say?
No, tinker, not tinkle. No,
I was going to say just test it with a string or your toe or something. So if you blow your good hand off, you can still shoot.
You're assuming he has a good hand, so that may not be the case here. One never knows.
Oh my God, I need to go.
I've seen Jim shoot. Come on now.
Well, he's all right. Just you don't want a whole lot of crosswind on him because the hair's blowing and it's all
it gets in the way.
The big tall galoot, he's catching all of this wind.
It's better than being downwind from me.
Mike,
Trust
did you
me.
see that? Did you see that? I hit the target again. Mike, did you see that?
Let's open up that fifth box of ammo. I can do it again.
Yeah.
That's right. So the news is evidently, talking to Pete Brownell, that 22 is still hard to come by.
Yeah.
Just in.
I've got 300 rounds that last me forever. And I'm like...
Well, yeah, if you don't shoot it, yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's all I can find. And I haven't been taking any of my 22s out shooting because I just don't want to shoot my ammo up. Stinks because that's pretty much all I own is 22s.
Well, of course, the other thing is, if you're not going to shoot it, then what are you saving it for?
I don't know. I like to say that I have some in that caliber. I don't. There's no good justification.
I just want to say I have some. Yeah.
Other than zombies attacking and I need to eat squirrels for a living or something.
Michael, you could go another way. You could just go ahead and shoot it and continue to say you have some.
There you go. So you keep getting those late night phone calls.
There's no honor among ammo hoarders.
Are you the guy with the 22 long rifle? What are you wearing?
That's right. Yeah. We'll just put an ad on Craigslist. We'll trade anything for 22 ammo.
Speaking of 22 ammo value, it's become the new currency. Michelle's a huge coffee drinker, right?
Right.
A buddy of mine happens to work in the restaurant industry, putting in coffee makers and pop machines and all that kind of stuff. And he called me up. He said, "Do you got any 22 ammo?" I said, "Well, I got very little bit." Why? He's like, "Well, I know your wife's a coffee drinker, and I got this Bunn dual burner, commercial grade coffee thing. I'll trade it to you for 50 rounds of 22. I'm going to take my kid shoot." Yeah,
that's like a $250.
Oh, yeah. There's like $600 if you bought it outright. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy, for 50 rounds?
I felt bad. I gave him $250. I did. I felt
Boy,
terrible.
you easy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know, but still.
Well, I mean, I posted an ad on a local gun trader type site, basically on social media the other day, because I accidentally bought a whole box of 20 gauge shotgun ammo, and I don't own a 20 gauge.
Wait. Back up. You accidentally bought ammo?
Negligent purchase.
I bought 3 boxes. It's what I thought were 12
Is that an
gauge.
NP?
And there was a 20 gauge box in between the 3 that I picked up, so I didn't notice it till I got home. And obviously, you can't take it back.
Just use shims.
Yeah, shim it up. Yeah, just duct tape it. It'll fit. May not get it out.
Little electrical tape on there. Your work real good.
I put on this ad, we'll trade for 9mm or 22 LR, and I had one response, and the response was, I'll give you 3 rounds of 22 for it. I'm like, no thanks.
Sense of humor. Thank you very much.
Well, on the bright side, I did have the guilt factor drop a little bit because I had bought that back when you could get a brick for $12 or whatever it was.
Right.
So I didn't feel too bad.
You had $12 into it, so you paid $12 for a $600 appliance.
Right. My wife's thrilled, and my buddy got to take his kids shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have no shame whatsoever.
I can sleep at night now. Yeah.
However, Michelle can't because she's drinking all this coffee.
Touche.
That was really quick.
He's done this before.
When I surround myself with really smart people, I go home with a goal.
Yeah.
So you have to go home and surround yourself with smart people to get over hanging around with
us. Right.
Well, okay.
There is that. Oh, man.
God. You want to wrap it before we embarrass ourselves further?
I have to go somewhere where we could go make things go bang. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I guess the takeaway is I do want to ask you guys just real briefly before we wrap. We had really the giants. We had Gottlieb and Gura on, our 2 Allen G guys on. And every time I hear them, I just think I'm so impressed with what they do. And I know I'm a gun rights geek, but I'm just kind of wanted to know, how does all this hit you when we hear all this great news?
I was like a kid in a candy store today because I've dealt with a lot of celebrities over the past through this show and other work I do, and I don't get real smitten. It's you keep your wits about you, you're polite, and you're professional, and you move on. Both these guys, said, hey, I'm giving you a digital high five, guys. It was great just being able to speak with these guys and off air, give them a high five and tell them thanks for everything you do, and it's tremendous. I mean, these guys are in the trenches. These are people you read about and do internet stuff on, and you hear these guys and to actually physically be able to speak to them. And then they said, we got to talk to Gresham after talking to you. I said, yeah.
Yeah, I know. What a letdown.
Yeah, it was really anticlimactic for them, I realized, but it was a real honor and just a pleasure to talk to these guys.
It takes a huge set of kahunas to get up in front of the courts and to challenge anything like this. I mean, it's fantastic. We need people like them to do it, but it's got to be tough. And kudos off to them for helping us preserve our rights. I mean, gosh.
But if anybody should be big-headed about their accomplishments, it's these guys, and neither one are.
Right.
You tell them, hey, thanks for everything, and they're like, yeah, great, thanks.
I mean, they really are. They're
laid back.
Regular old people. You talk to them, and all they want to do is talk about, okay, what are we doing next? How do we win? How do we? And one thing that they're both really good at is they would be killer at like 3D chess because they're
like
working 27 moves ahead.
Right.
They're saying, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to lose there, and then we're going to move it over here, and we're going to lose there. But we're setting up this other one, and then this case is going to set up these 2 other cases that we're going to file in other states.
Yeah.
And it's like you're going, wow. And when we see it come together, we go, well, yeah, that makes sense. And say, but we weren't seeing it 5 years ago.
Yeah, they can look down the road and know the path, yeah.
Yeah, they're driving with HID beams going, and the rest of us have got little bitty flashlights we're trying to see with.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, really.
Yeah, they do good. But, I mean, that also should reinforce why we help them financially because that stuff doesn't come easy. It doesn't come cheap.
No.
And superstars are worth hanging on to.
Well, and you guys know that I'm on the board of the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms. Mm-hmm. And so, as a result, I sit in on the board meetings of Second Amendment Foundation. I know how much it costs. It would just scare you to death.
Yeah, well, they're not for profit, right?
It turned out that way.
No, aren't they structured that way?
Yeah, they are. They're nonprofit, and they don't have the NRA's kind of money. They don't have that kind of thing going for them.
Right.
They just do an awful lot with not a lot. It's just smart work. I mean, which is not to say they're not, it's still a lot of money. We're cycling through a lot of money, but man, we spend a ton. And people say, well, could you take this case? Could you take that case? And it's interesting how they have to turn down some. We say, okay, that doesn't actually, it's worthwhile. And I get that for you it's important, but it doesn't move the ball forward on the grand scale. And that's really
the cause,
where they are. Yeah. And those are hard ones to do when you say, yeah, man, I'd love to help you out, but we just have limited resources. We can't do that one for you.
Yep.
So
and that's just a sad reflection on the state of things, where it costs so much to challenge what is ultimately often proven to be an unconstitutional law in the first place.
To start with, right?
They
Great
should,
point.
They really should be something on the books where they have to refund your.
Well, they did in Chicago.
Well, yeah,
Chicago had to kick back big money.
Yeah,
was it like $1 million or something?
Just under. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, there are some provisions in some laws where if you win, they have to pay your legal fees, which is not court costs, which means, and then they fight for like 3 years about, well, what would be reasonable legal fees?
Yeah. The whole time they're out all this money, and
it's costing you to argue their argument. Yeah.
And they're telling you, well, yeah, your lawyers are only worth $12 an hour. Come on, You go, not hardly.
Does that fall into the category of tortious lawsuits? Is that the term?
I don't know.
Over my head.
I don't know.
Tort law. I'll look up this week.
I used to catch tortoises in the backyard, little big guys.
Some snapping turtles, too.
Yeah, that's right. Some of those things, them big loggerheads.
All right, well, speaking of dinner, let's get to it.
You need to leave, don't you?
With food and guns, I can't stick around.
That's it. We got to go shoot our dinner. Daddy got us another possum. That's about all we can do here.
Okay.
Guys. So, all right. Thank you. And we will do it again next week unless they actually find out where we are and the restraining orders come through.
Be good.
All right. Take care, guys.
You've been listening to the Gun Talk After Show. It comes up after the regular radio broadcast right here. You can download it on your pod, or you can listen to it right on your computer. This is where Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael hang around and have a little more fun doing what they do best, talking about guns. Check us out online at guntalk.com, and we'll see you back here next week.